is that when the world is arming and aggression is rising, the best way to avoid war is to prepare for it. The best way to defend is to deter, to have the strength to make your adversaries think again before they act.
This is everything that goes into
I swear by Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I also want to place on the record my profound thanks to my right honourable friends, the Prime Minister and the Chancellor, for their support and the spirit of goodwill which has guided our negotiations over the past fortnight. They have, for 2 years, demonstrated steadfast commitment to our national security, and our armed forces are today better prepared and better supported as a consequence of that. I think it's important to also make the point that Ukraine is still strong in the fight, and Britain, over the past 2 years, has proven itself to be a reliable ally and a trusted partner. I also pay tribute to my friend, the Right Honourable Member for Rawmarsh and Conisbrough, who dedicated his time as a Secretary of State and worked in order to deliver this plan. He set out to this House in clear terms why he could not support an earlier version of the plan. Madam Deputy Speaker, I will lay out what has changed and why I can. This plan now commits more investment in our armed forces, £298 billion over the next 4 years. That includes an additional £15 billion on top of last year's spending review settlement, of which most is extra day-to-day spending for training and improving availability of ships and aircraft to increase our warfighting readiness. That is £1.5 billion more than when I took up this job just a couple of weeks ago. This means that defence spending will now increase in real terms by 27% between 2023 and 2024 and 2029 and 2030. That is a bigger increase across a Parliament than any present member of this House has ever seen. It means the £74 billion allocated to our armed forces next year is now £20 billion more than the last year of the previous government. Madam Deputy Speaker, ultimately, the success of this defence investment plan will be measured by whether it commands the support of those amazing men and women who serve in our armed forces. They remain our most important asset, respected by those who stand with us, feared by those who stand against us. We know that they are equal to any task, and with this defence investment plan, we give them the means to match their courage. I commend this statement to the House.
Healy.
Thank you, Speaker. We all want this defence investment plan to be a success, and can I personally thank the MOD officials who have worked so hard for many months to get us to this point, and can I welcome the extra money the Treasury may have seeded in the last couple of weeks. It builds on what has been the record increase in defence investment that we as a Labour government have made since the election. Yeah. But threats are still growing, demands on defence are still rising in this dangerous world, and today's step means that we will be spending as a nation 2.7% of GDP on defence in 2030, the date that NATO now warns we could face a Russian attack. So with European security at stake, would my right honourable friends agree that more needs to be done in the months ahead, beyond the dip, to develop a clear, credible funding plan that will hit 3% and that will meet our NATO commitment of 3.5% by 2035?
Madam Deputy Speaker, I'm very grateful to my right honourable friend for his service in government. He did an excellent job as Defence Secretary, and I aim absolutely to build on the work that he did. I know that he will share the pride that this government has in the commitment that we have already made, £298 billion over the next 4 years, £15 billion of new money in this plan, and with an increase in defence spending in real terms by 27% up to 29-30. But he's right. We do need to do more. We will need to spend more on defence, and that's why there was a clear commitment that that will be a #1 priority at the next spending review. We have an absolute obligation to our armed forces and to our allies. When I talk to my NATO allies, they look to the United Kingdom for leadership. That is leadership that we have provided over a number of years, including under the previous government, but it is a leadership that this government will continue to provide.